Hi, Stephen Van Tassel here, wildlife control consultant, with another episode for the Living the Wildlife podcast, video cast in this case, for the Pest Geek podcast. Well, hello everyone out there in Pest Geek land. I've been asked to do some video work. Some of you guys, I guess, want to see some video work, so I'm like, all right. Try to help out here, do some video work with the coronavirus going on. We got some time, so I figured, well, let me talk about something that might be useful for you when you can get out in the field. If you're not out in the field already, you talk to different guys. Some are busy, some are practically dead. So hopefully we can get this thing through and try to get this economy back up and people employed and back working again, because be safe out there, folks. Thought I would talk about a device that was turned on to me by Jared Walker out of Colorado. He runs a company called When Nature Calls Pest Control. Isn't that a great name? When Nature Calls Pest Control. Well, he turned me on to this particular device. We're not going to talk about game cameras today. We're going to talk about the device that holds the game camera. Do you have a stand that you use for your game camera? I haven't used game cameras a lot, but I do know that when I've tried, they're always a hassle, right? In terms of you can't seem to find a way to get them to stand in the right place. Is it going to be secure? Is it going to blow in the wind? Is it going to be stabilized? You know, they're big, bulky. You need something that's kind of universal that will get the job done for you. And so he turned me on to this. This is called, now wait for it, this is a little complicated. I had to write it down because it's hard to find online. So here it is. I'm going to repeat it a few times because it's a long name, and if you're searching for it, it's really hard to find if you don't have it exact. It is called the ProMaster System Pro Clamper number 7812. Let me repeat that again. The ProMaster System Pro Clamper number 7812. You may see it also called a tripod. You can say, well, how is it a tripod? Well, because of all the different features this thing has. So here I have some arms, and you simply can hold that out, tighten it up. Then you tighten up this way. And then you can move this around. I mean, it's just simply incredible. So notice what you can do. And I have all these different clamps. So we have this particular clamp where it can kind of grip something, okay? That's controlled by this particular movement here. So you would basically unscrew that and clamp that down. This is about how wide it goes. Pretty wide, so that's probably about 4 or 5 inches. It has these rubberized tips. So if you have a pole, you can clamp that down on a pole. You can have it, your camera sideways and different things. So that's one option. It even has this little extra clamp to kind of get that last bit of tip. So even if you only can get around something on the outside edge here, you can still lock it down. It's fairly heavy for something small. Very solid construction. I've had this outdoors. We have high wind here where I live. But when I mean high wind, I'm talking 40 miles an hour. We've had even gale force higher. Not while I've been using this, but we've had up to 60 miles an hour up here where I'm on a little bit of a hill. So I had this basically situated like this. Actually a little bit lower. I had it down on the ground, sort of like that. And then I had my camera posted on top. Not a big profile for the wind to hit, but this stayed steady. I never found it on the side. And so this was at ground level. Had it near a cage trap that I had in the backyard. So it is amazing in terms of what this device can do. There's more. Let's talk a little bit more. If this clamp isn't big enough for you, well, you also have the option for this type of a clamp. this direction. So you can put something in this way and kind of clamp it down that particular direction. You can have, there's a ball at the top. Here's another clamp here. So this can turn 180 degrees this way, but it also spins at this direction. So let's say you have your camera on. Well, let me screw the camera on here. So we're going to get this locked in. Okay. So now I have this ball, and I can have it move that way, that way. I can then stand it up, spin it around, because that ball located right here allows that kind of free-flowing movement. And when I want it to stop moving, I just turn that in. We're good to go. I could have it sideways. You know, if I don't have the angle right, just loosen it, move it that way, move it down this way. I mean, there's a whole host of different options that you have. The thing's incredible, actually. I'm quite impressed with it. Unfortunately, it's not cheap. So it's a bit pricey. It's going to cost you around $90. I saw one advertised for like $50. I'm not sure if it had all of the parts, because some of this is modular. You may be able to get part of it for a lower cost if you're just looking for different things on it. Look around, do some research on it. You want to have a stand that's going to be able to work for you. Maybe some of you out there might want to build your own for the industry that's going to be cheaper, but certainly the kinds of features that you have here are incredible. So I'm playing around with this some more. I mean, look at how stable that is. That's pretty impressive. You know, you could even come down, go low profile, turn it on its side. You know, it's truly amazing. Perhaps if I was to criticize this particular product a little bit, I would probably want to get rid of the shiny objects, of course, because it makes it less noticeable to animals. And then, of course, Johnny Sneakums, for those of you that have thieves around. It's amazing how these things can walk away. But if you're looking like in an attic and you're looking to put this on a stud or something, oh yeah, you can lock this puppy down on a stud, no problem, right? You can have attached here, you can lock it down in here. It's going to have that kind of flexibility for you. And then you don't have to worry about it getting stolen. So what are the types of things you're going to need a game camera for, where you want something like this around? Well, you know, those types of jobs where you don't know what is going on. The client's telling you one thing, you're doing your inspection, and the information's not jiving for you. You're like, well, let's find out, because you don't want to call your client a liar. Sometimes you miss things. You don't want to assume that the person has illusory parasitosis too quickly, right? You always want to have that way, way in the back. I had a job once where I thought an elderly lady was crazy. She called up, had thumping on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, right. So I didn't tell her that on the phone, but I'm thinking, this woman's wackadoo. Get out to her location. She had a crawl space under her basement, she didn't really have a basement. She sort of had a carve out, and then the house was then built over open areas. It was a very old house, probably built in the 1800s. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going to be down here? What did I see? I saw a starling got caught underneath the house, and every time it flew up, it hit the floor of this little crawl space area, and lo and behold, that was causing the noise. So are there people that are out there that are sort of believing things that don't exist? Yes. But you always want to make sure that that's last on your list before you start putting that person over to medical attention. Sometimes people have dry skin and they think they have the creepy crawlies, and they do have the creepy crawlies. It's just not caused by a bug or something else. It's because of the dry skin. Sometimes medication will cause those types of feelings as well. So be very, very careful before you jump to where the person's crazy, because sometimes the animals are doing things that you just didn't know they could do, and they'll surprise you and make liars of you every time. So that's one place where a game camera can really help you verify what could be happening. They have the infrared technology now, but you need to have the camera in the right location. And if you can't position it and lock it down where it's going to be stable, you're going to have a problem, particularly when we're dealing outdoors, because every time you have vibration of your camera, it's probably taking more shots, and that's going to be a problem. If you don't have the right angle for your camera, you're not going to get the right shot. So you want to get it done right, because time is so expensive. You've got to have the tools to get it done. I think this is a tool that can help you. Just for truth in advertising, I'm not making any money on this particular product. I would love someone in the industry to build some that are going to be cheaper. We don't have to have it as pretty. This is very elegantly well manufactured, well designed, very, very pretty. I think we can get away with something half the price, and the guy's probably still going to be making pretty good money. But we need something that's going to be durable, but not quite as pretty. This product has a lot of rubberized tips, so you're not going to be scratching stuff up. If you put it on someone's table or something, you're not worried about scratching up the universe. This thing is really, really well made. It's probably going to last you for decades. But you want to have something that's going to be good. Those of you who take videos as just part of your work, think of how much good video can really help advertise your company when it comes to raccoons leaving houses. You try to sell a job to your client. So that type of, you want to have good quality photos, good quality videos, and this is in a stable environment is what you're going to need to help you do that. So is it expensive? Yes, it is. But could it bring you the types of photos and video you need that'll make you more money? I suspect the answer to that is yes, if you get the kind of quality equipment. Is this the only one on the market? No, there are certainly others, but the versatility of this one is truly a sight to behold. And it's not very big. You know, it can fold up pretty easily. Let me kind of turn this up a little bit. Let me get my camera off. Take the camera off here and just show you how small of a package can I get this in, because storage matters, of course, in our particular industry. We want to have the ability to pack things up tight. So, I'm just doing this on the fly. How quickly can I get this to take up less space? Not too bad. Depending if you want to have it this way or whether you want to have it just a straight line. What are we looking at here? About 10 inches and maybe about 5 or 6 inches wide at the widest point. Check it out. Let me give you that name again because it's hard to find if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. ProMaster System Pro Clamper. That clamper is spelled C-L-A-M-P-E-R. Then you have the pound sign, that's for number 7812. That's the ProMaster System Pro Clamper, number 7812. Check it out. And if any of you out there looking to build something on your own, do give me a call. Do reach out to me. I am the most available person in the world. My email address is wildlifecontrolconsultant@gmail.com. I would love to interview you and market it because I think we need more products like this out in the market that are going to be lower cost, especially when situations where stuff can get stolen. ProMaster System Pro Clamper, number 7812. Cost was about $90. I did see a version down about $50, so do your Google search correctly. Just don't forget to include in shipping. Shipping is going to cost you something as well. Check it out. You might find it's something that's going to make you money and save you a lot of headache for those of you who really like to get out there and take some quality photos with your game cameras. I'm Stephen Van Tassel, wildlife control consultant for the Pest Geek podcast, Living the Wildlife. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Would love to hear from you. wildlifecontrolconsultant@gmail.com. Would love to get your feedback in terms of what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, and ideas for what I can do to help you make more money and save time and live a better life dealing with wildlife. Thanks for watching.